All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm Winston Binch. This is my good friend and colleague, Tressie Lieberman from Chipotle. Today, we're going to talk about, as Jeff said, mobilizing in times of uncertainty with a focus on CRM, loyalty, brand, and just some of the things, Chipotle has been doing, I would say, rather smartly as we've navigated, the last several months. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tressie.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to be talking about this, especially with Winston. Him and I have been kind of going nuts about CRM for the last year and working through how we can really make it a powerful lever for Chipotle. I think with any presentation, it has to start with what the brand is all about. And I think with every marketer, it's looking inside to see what your strengths are and what guides you. And at Chipotle, we're a very purpose driven company. It's why I joined the company. We stand for cultivating a better world, and it's part of our decision making process. And that's been really important, especially during the pandemic and everything happening in culture right now, to make sure that we're really clear on how we respond and when we respond. But it starts with being about real, right? And that is the brand. uh, if you flip to the next slide, you can kind of see a peek inside of how we think at Chipotle. But we're all about showing our difference. We have 53 real ingredients. We have no can openers, no freezers, no microwaves in our restaurant. And we have incredible team members and partners from a sourcing standpoint with our farmers, as well as our employees. And that's really what drives us. And I think it's a story that we want to tell when you have this suite of purpose-driven and values-led organization. It's a really exciting space to be. And if you flip to the next slide, I think what's been really exciting for us, especially in CRM, is to see that sharing our stories that are about our purpose are having an impact. And we're seeing a 12 to 15% higher engagement rate when we look at the communications that are using words like support and give. And we're excited to tell these stories, but the fact that it's having an impact continues to help guide where we're taking the brand. And if you flip to the next one, what's really exciting me is the power of our rewards community. So Chipotle launched our rewards program called Chipotle Rewards on March 12th last year. The date is ingrained in my mind. It was a big day for the company. And our customers have been anticipating and waiting for a loyalty program for a while. And so we're very purposeful about how we brought it to life. But in the course of a little over a year, we already have 13 million members. And when you think about that, it's the same reach as Monday Night Football. So there's so much power. And it's not just a passive audience, right? These are people who've raised their hand in the last year to say that they want to hear from us. They want to communicate with the brand. And we've taken this really seriously, right? It's about getting them the right content. We used to send an email maybe once a month. So now if we're going to start showing up in your inbox or a push notification on a weekly or biweekly basis, that needs to provide value to our customers. And when you think about what happened with a pandemic, and you can kind of see a sign here that shows our restaurants, our dining rooms were closed, it was about a really quick pivot. Not only were media habits changing and the business was changing, right? We were moving to really spotlighting our delivery business, our order ahead business through the app. And it was very important that we lean on our Chipotle Rewards community to help us navigate this time, right? Like they're coming to Chipotle all the time. How do we tell them how to access the brand now and how to be a part of the journey when we're all going through such uncertain times? So as we go through the presentation, we really want to show you how we've done this at a broad scale, as well as how we're making it super relevant. I think it's important to know about our brand as we go through this, that as much as we're showing our difference, there are two other things that we think about in all of our communications. One is about showing access, right? That delivery is a way to get real food to more people. Having people easily access a brand through our app for pickup or through our new Chipotlanes is about that access point. And so we wanted to think about how we show people that you can get delivery. Because I could ask the people, everybody on this call, if you think about delivery, what brand comes to mind first? Maybe it's Chipotle now, because we've been pretty vocal over the last few months. But it's not inherently going to be a default brand. You're probably going to think about pizza as an example. So how do we start to be in that consideration set and teach you about new ways to get Chipotle? The other important piece here is that it's about driving culture. We are a brand that we take our food very seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I've watched that from afar before I joined Chipotle as a super fan of the brand, and also now being here. It is about, relating to our customers and meeting them where they are, and whether that's finding the right way to activate on TikTok, or actually during the pandemic, the very first platform that we lit up was Zoom. We started doing live sessions with different artists on Zoom to bring some joy to our community. We've done Instagram live after party for the prom with David Dobrik when proms were getting canceled. So it's about listening to where customers are, where culture is, and meeting them there. So pulling all these things together, driving difference, driving access, showing how we attach to culture, we really thought hard about how we showed up in people's inboxes and in their app for push notifications, and maybe that occasional SMS message where we have something really important to say. But we took it to a different level, right? It wasn't just about the brand. It was about being super transparent and moving quickly to share where we were. There's really never been a more important time to have a nimble organization and be able to collaborate and respond in real time. So just to hit a few of those examples, one has been about sharing what we're doing from a safety standpoint. It's important to know where you're eating that you can feel good about. And Chipotle was actually just named the #1 restaurant in terms of really delivering food safety during this crisis. But we wanted to communicate that. We've added tamper evident stickers to all of our bags, sealed utensils. We added contactless delivery, so you could ask a driver to drop it at your door instead of knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, and waiting for you to have that interaction. So we're constantly talking about all of the things that we're doing in the restaurant and just easing people's minds, because we know that people still want to come to Chipotle, but we need to build that confidence. We also, going back to cultivating a better world, we're extremely focused on how to make a difference. And, I've been to some conversations throughout the pandemic where people were like, oh, as a brand, are you just jumping in and trying to get, stay top of mind by doing purpose driven things? And I mean, it's the opposite of that. It's everybody in our organization saying, what can we do? How can we make a difference? When you work for a brand, especially a big brand, right? Like, you have a lot of power to influence culture, not just attach yourself to culture, but influence it. And I think cultivating a better world is doing the right thing and hoping others come along for that journey, or seeing other people doing the right thing and wanting to be a part of that journey. So we gave over 200,000 burritos away, just thinking about how we could make a meaningful difference to the medical community. And whether it was catering our burritos by the box, or letting customers order and label their order as for heroes, and being able to get a donation of a burrito to healthcare worker. It's been really core to how we've thought about navigating this is, how can we use our brand to make a difference? Obviously over the last month, it's been a really serious time to think about how we really use our voice for good and drive change. And it's been awesome to see a lot of brands partner in this and make a difference. We are a brand that's all about diversity and inclusion, and we're really passionate about getting out and helping to make an impact here. So if you flip to the next slide, you can just see one example we've done where we said, look, we have an app, we have a web, we're all about driving access. Why don't we turn those into a donation platform? We've already pledged $1 million to National Urban League, but we thought we could do more by getting that message out. And it was something we quickly turned on to be able to start raising money for National Urban League. And what's awesome is we're able to quickly turn on our email as well, right? Because that's the community we want to know about this. We want to be able to champion the story. And, the results have just been phenomenal. And so I've appreciated, I've kind of think about a lot of my job being driving social media. Social media is so real time. And so we've worked really hard to make our email equally real time, because there isn't time to wait. I think that things are changing at a faster rate than ever, and we have to be able to respond. A quick follow-up to that we just did. Pride is a part of Chipotle's story. We've championed it for many years now at parades, and when parades got canceled, And obviously, there's so much going on with racial injustice. We wanted to partner with Karamo Brown, who is a big fan of the brand, and go on TikTok for lunch and listens, where we brought in influencers to talk about the LGBTQ plus community and also donate for every viewer for the Center for Black Equity. And again, it was, moving fast to pivot plans time and time again, right? A few months ago, we had big plans lined up for Pride parades, and we're pivoting. And so the ability for email to pivot with that and be able to help amplify the stories has been really powerful.
Yeah. And as Tressie talked about, purpose is central to everything that Chipotle does, but we also have a secondary mission that we can consider really important, which is making the experience personal. We know when you make things personal, when you relate to people on a one-to-one level, they appreciate it, and they appreciate it by coming to your restaurant. And so you don't get to personal with one-off executions. And I've been a creative marketer for a long time. As Tressie said, we've been geeking out over CRM for the last, over the last year and a half, because this is where we really think we can create a lot of value for the company and for our customers. And the way that you get to scale and personalization is by adopting a systematic and journey-based approach backed by data. And I want to talk a little bit about what that means, because they're big words. We hear data a lot, we hear systems, but I want to break it down. For us, it isn't, when people hear about systems and data, they often think about soulless templated experiences. But our mission, from day one was to scale CRM with a brand-driven approach. And for Chipotle, that starts with starting with food. And one of our key principles is make every communication as real as the food. And that next thing, right, when we talk about personalization, is make it as personal as your order. So all of the content that we are creating, delivering, is really considering the moment, is considering what inspires people, the information we find that's relevant, and the incentives that we know that will really resound and resonate with individuals. So when you're building a system, the planning, the upfront part is really important, right? You have to think about what are your content buckets, and we make a lot of content. But the key areas that we see drive the most action and create connection are around the food, as we talked about. The food is the hero always, and luckily with Chipotle, we have such amazing food to showcase, as well as our ingredients. People love guacamole too. The next piece is values, which again comes back to purpose, and I can't talk about that more. We talked a lot about purpose-driven brands for the last few years, but I think Chipotle is living evidence that it really does move the needle, and actually, this brand is really trying to make things better. And then another one that we really love is, in terms of content, is this idea of local. Local is a great way to create relevance. We have so many restaurants, and if we can really speak to people about the restaurant near them or the geography, it helps. And then lastly, again, this notion of personal. So you need to have a content framing, and this is the buckets that we operate with. And this is an example, right? So how do you start to personalize that? This is Alex. He's lagging behind in typical volume. Last year, he consistently ordered, and he loves guac, right? So a solution for Alex, would be a communication with small points bonus that reinforces guac, right? So this is how you start to build this based on the data that and we know a decent amount about our customers. And again, I've said that there is this myth, and Tressie and I have talked about this, is there's a myth with systems and templates that they're ugly and that they're not branded, but really today you can create something that's really seamless, and is very sophisticated from a design standpoint. So we're big believers in the power system, and really that's how you get to scale and personalization with such a large member base. So once you've created your system, then you want to move from this, one-offs, broad reach emails, which we still do a lot of, and mass marketing, broad reach still matters, but more and more this relevant, smart communication that's journey-based, that meets you in your terms, we find to be increasingly important. So for just this illustratively, this is our new member journey, and this is targeted at new Chipotle members. with the objective of growing 3 transactions, right, in 12-week period. Our goals are to encourage high value customer behavior, reduce marketing touches. A lot of this is about trying to bring some simplicity to the org and the operation. And then that brand love idea, everything's got to drive brand love and connection, and be relevant. And then educating about what we are doing from, Tressie talked about safety, talked about our initiatives in National Urban League, talked about pride, talk about the things that really matter to brand we know matter to customers. And then again, that mission of making customers feel known and valued. That's something that we really push for. And then, this is just a quick look. I mean, at how this can come to life. You saw the modules, but this is the new member journey. And it's all dynamic, right? It's based on order history, location. And what's really great about this is it gives you such a range of flexibility, right? There's over 700 creative components driving thousands of variations. So when we think about it in a time like now, have to be fast and to be relevant. And if you're not being relevant right now, forget it, right? I mean, you're doing disservice to both your customer and your brand. Trust, you want to talk a little bit about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, we launched the program March 12th, so we're a baby program. We're only a little over a year old, but we've been able to accomplish a tremendous amount. And really, it's about having the right partners and the right mentality within the organization. And obviously, an incredible team at Chipotle who is leading the way here. We've all been doing this while remote, like all of you. And it's just been amazing to see people respond. This is, speaking of living our values, this is one of our team meetings where we did a farm tour. We brought our kids along for this one. And got to see some goats, which surprisingly brings a lot of zen and happiness on when you have Zoom burnout. So highly recommend the Lancaster Farm Sanctuary. But I think it's really about having that shared vision, a clear strategy, and the right partners to get it done. And I can't talk enough about the right partners piece. I mean, having been in marketing for a long time, I've been in the situations where you have different partners who hold things very close to the vest, and kind of the idea maybe has to start with a partner. And we've really created an environment within our organization where the expectation is that we're all sharing, we're all working together. And what's been really cool to see in that is that, because we have a lot of partners here, we don't really have one giant partner. We have a lot of people working together, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, I think everybody's really enjoying seeing the shared success by being collaborative, by working together, by understanding all of our different platforms. It's not about, one person getting the credit. It's about achieving together. And it's a superpower. So I just continue to reinforce it, creating that culture within the organization, within your partners, where it's not an option to be sharing, but it's an expectation, and that it's all the names are going on the award entry, not one partner.
Yeah, and this is not a lip service slide at all. I've been in the business for a long time, and I give a lot of credit to Chipotle here. Like, we're constantly collaborating with other partners. There's no walls. We have a weekly collaborations meeting, and it really makes a difference, particularly when you're working at this speed with this much complexity, and systems like the one we just talked about. So, we're wrapping up here. 5 takeaways, because you always got to have takeaways. We've talked about it, many others are, but truly we mean it. I think purpose is going to become an even bigger deal for brands. We're seeing that things are changing by the minute, but there's no hiding, there's no silence. You really have to have some values that do more than just focus on profit. The other thing, again, credit my partner here, Tressie, but this is a brave brand, and they're biased towards action. You have to move. The next thing here, if you aren't capturing customer data, you're losing. So we really believe that CRM and loyalty are must invest areas in marketing right now, because they allow you to get smarter about your customer and deliver them the messages and experiences they want. And it's not just about getting smart about the data. It's about meeting them on their terms, and really starting to think about journeys, think about that end-to-end user experience. And again, Tressie and I have been working together for a long time, but collaboration truly is a force multiplier. And particularly in times of crisis, you got to roll the sleeves up. You got to be able to get together and work across the aisle.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add, I'm going to add a sixth takeaway is, being on making CRM and loyalty a priority. It's really making it an executive level priority and talking about it in a way that's simple and sexy. Like, this is a really important, exciting, beautiful part of the business. I think sometimes CRM and loyalty get a reputation for just being deep in the data, and it's hard to champion it and articulate. And we really tried to make this the bright, shiny, sexy object because it's so important. And creative layered with the data is what can be the big unlock and drive that engagement. So I sweat the creative on an email the same way we would any other asset. It's really an opportunity to shine, even in this more systematic approach. So kudos to the GALE team for helping bring all that to life.
Great.
Thank you all.
Well, it wouldn't be a presentation without burritos. So, Tressie, you want to?
This is Winston's idea, so you can thank him for a free burrito. These go really fast. I've done a lot of burrito giveaways this year, and I can say that if you want a free burrito, you better get your fingers moving. So if you text 888-222, that's a Chipotle short code. If you text PSFKRW, you'll get a free burrito if you're one of the first 50 people. Yeah. So now is worth sticking around for our talk.
There you go. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. I don't see the question.
I don't see the question.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Do you get it?
How do you balance your delivery business amongst third-party providers and your own channels? How do you maintain margin keeping prices the same? Yeah, so I think, from a delivery standpoint, we talked about access and getting people to try Chipotle for delivery. We've really been focused on getting people to our app. I think it's the place where you're going to have the most amazing experience with Chipotle. It's where we start to recognize you. It's our reward program, right? So it takes you on that journey. So my number one initiative has really been to get people to download our app and to get you in that experience. We know that people are also want to order where they are at times, right? If you're already on Uber Eats, you're already on DoorDash and you want delivery, we want to be there. We want to be visible. We want to be the brand that you're choosing if you are shopping within that platform. So we certainly look at the entire landscape, but it's really been, for me, the focus on driving that app download and getting you in that experience.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone. It's been a great experience. We love talking about this stuff, and stay safe, grow your business, make some emails. We'll see you around.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. Thanks everybody.